Welcome to episode number 9, season 2 of the OpTic podcast. Today, your usual host, Money B, Money Biscuit, Money Problems, Money No Problems, OpTic Hacks, Hector Rodriguez. Special guests today, Dan Chacon from RevXP, Ken Olson from RevXP. RevXP is a, what is it? So the marketing agency?
Talent representation and full-service marketing agency dedicated specifically to esports.
Perfect. I could have said it. I could have said it better myself. I just wanted you to say it. Usually, the way the podcast goes is that the hosts, Ambos and I, ask you questions that we already know the answer to, but want you to answer. So that's the way this typically works. Anyway, where do we begin? So we're going to be talking about esports advertisements, sponsorships. What has worked, what works, what doesn't, in our opinion, and obviously in their opinion. Dan's been in the industry for close to what?
20 years.
20 years in the industry. How many years in the esports industry?
6 or 7 specifically dedicated to esports.
Cool. Before doing what you do now, where did you work? Give us a little rundown of who Dan is.
Yeah, quick background. So,
what's your favorite food?
Started out my career in sponsorship sales, basically working for the NBC and Mutual Broadcasting Network, selling NCAA basketball, NFL football. Spent some time in TV. Went over to MTV, where I worked in their games and entertainment unit, and that's really where I started to learn about all the opportunities within gaming in particular. And then from there went over to IGN and IPL, where I went to my very first esports tournament. I think it was IPL 4.
What year? Don't say 1969.
No. It was IPL 4. I just remembered it was StarCraft, and it wasn't Smash. It might have been Street Fighter.
So it wasn't that old. It must have just happened because StarCraft was like a 2010, 2011. Really, the popularity of it was like 210 to 212.
Yeah, it was probably 2011 or 2012. But like I said, it was one of the first IPL tournaments.
At what point were you just like, you know what, this, like, I have a really good job doing like traditional sponsorships with TV and traditional sports. You said that you worked for Notre Dame or sold shit for Notre Dame.
So yeah, well, sold Notre Dame football in combination with NCAA basketball, NFL football, Major League Baseball.
Right. So from a traditional sports standpoint, the path that we need to follow, he's done it. Now, what made you say, you know what, this is cool, I want to do this because I'm going to have fun? Or it was literally IPL 4. It was that tournament, right? So I've been involved in music with MTV, attended a million different sporting events through the various networks that I've worked with. When I went into that tournament, it was literally like, and Ken's probably heard this story a million times, but for me, it was literally like going to the coolest sporting event, Comic-Con, and music concert I've ever been to, all rolled into one. Yeah.
Right? Like the engagement, the enthusiasm, the way the fans were expressing themselves, I have never, and even to this day, and that's a major reason why we love doing what we're doing, is we've never seen audiences and fans react the way they do in anything else in entertainment outside of esports. It's just very exceptional for what it is, and very independent of everything else you'll find in entertainment.
So for you, it's like an overall falling in love with the scene and the sport and where it was going, as opposed to like, oh, I see an opportunity here to make some cheese.
So yeah, no. I mean, look, I love playing video games. Definitely not on the level that you guys are at.
Yeah.
But
definitely not.
But when I went into it, like I said, just looking at it from a sponsorship standpoint, that energy, right, and that kind of level of expression. Everyone just starts feeding off of each other. That's why, like, when you go to a music concert and everyone's into the music, right, and they're following along with it, it was just that elevated. Mm-hmm. It's like going to see your favorite team play, right? It becomes very tribal.
Yeah.
And to me, it was just elevated from everything else that I had experienced before.
All right. So 6 years in the business, are you still in love with the?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'm really excited for where things are now. Definitely excited for where it's going to go. A little concerned with, bigger money and bigger corporations and bigger networks coming in, but really, really enjoying the ride, and especially, obviously, being associated with you guys.
Awesome. Ken, same question.
Yeah. Well, my road certainly wasn't as long as Dan's, but I've been involved with esports probably for the past year and a half or so, and it started off working with you guys, right?
Yeah.
So before that, I cut my teeth in the event marketing, experiential marketing world, working for a couple different agencies. Worked on Verizon business for a long time. I worked on PlayStation business, and that was mainly just activating sponsorship deals. So, someone like Dan comes in and strikes a deal with the sponsorship, and then we basically leverage that sponsorship to create an event experience for fans. So like Lollapalooza.
So only a year and a half.
Yeah, in esports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you? What do you? Wait, go on.
No. I mean, like,
only a year and a half, like in the industry
for sure.
But as a fan,
as a fan, I've paid attention to this stuff for a long time. I've been playing video games. I mean, my uncle worked for Konami, so I was playing fucking Excite Bike and all that stuff when I was like 5 years old.
Yeah.
So I've been playing video games my entire life. And then Dan came along and created RevXP, and I saw the opportunity and jumped on it, right? Just knowing my passion for gaming. I worked on PlayStation business for a long time, like I said. So, and then I came to the house. I think the first deal that we worked on together was Turtle Wax, and saw the insane amount of influence that you guys have as a marketing power, as an entity in the space, and was just blown away. And obviously you guys are sweet dudes. So
we're sweet.
Yeah.
How did you convince? All right. So sidestepping. All right. How many months did you?
I already know what you're going to say.
What?
I know that he's not his son.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to say that.
Did you start that rumor?
I
No,
did.
He did,
I
but
did.
I believed it for like the longest time.
Yeah.
I really did. I'm like, I like when we went to Vegas. I'm like, you guys are eating. I'm like, let me see if they have some similarities or something.
Yeah.
I'm over here looking. I'm like, this shit don't add up.
They're Italian.
This shit is
He's
not
gray,
adding up.
facial hair.
No, so the sidestep into that, exactly what he just said. I don't know why I said that. I don't know why I don't know why I do half the shit that I do sometimes. But once when you guys came by for the Turtle Wax, I don't know, we were like having a side conversation, like the guys and I here at the house, and I'm like, yeah, that's Dan's son. He's like, oh shit, for real? I was like, yeah. And I was just joking. I was supposed to say just kidding at some point or another, but it went like 6 months down the line. Bose or somebody in the house is like, yo, is that really his son? And I was like, who?
Dude, you know when it happened was when we were in London for the esports awards with Pamaj.
Yeah.
And he was like,
oh yeah.
And he was like, oh man, I didn't realize that you weren't Dan's son, because I was talking and I made a reference to my family, and he got totally confused.
Yeah.
Dude, where's your dad?
Yeah.
So it was the weirdest thing, because I was like, I was thinking, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, that's not. Dan's not Ken's like dad, and then like, you told us, and I was like, holy shit, I did tell. So even I forgot about the whole thing. Something must have happened where it just completely went away. But I made up this story that was his son, and it just carried on for like the longest time. All right,
It was a nice evolution from Scump's drunk ass Dan presentation.
Yeah. Well, drunk ass dad.
Dad.
Yeah. See, everybody thinks that I'm out here like running around like everybody's dad, yelling at everyone. But the only reason I'm doing that is because I have somebody else like on my ear saying, like, why are you doing this? Why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? Why are they posting that? That's not supposed to go live until like next week. I'm like, shit, my bad, Dan. Let me handle that. Let me handle that my way.
Yo, I do have a business question though that I always wondered. This is a good one.
All right.
All right.
For me?
Yeah, for everyone. All right. So you know how big OpTic is, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, like, you get offered a lot of money for sponsorship. Like, you probably get a lot of offers, like one-time offer. I'm saying is, like, I'm sure you probably got crazy deals, but like didn't take them. Like, what? I'm sure you get money thrown at you all the time, but like, what? Like, obviously if you promote them, they could benefit more. But like, you know what I mean? Like, if they gave you X amount of money and you were promoting for like a month or something, I don't know. And who knows, they might take off or something, and then you're out of the deal. But like,
we make sure that doesn't happen.
But like, what I'm saying is, like, how do you pick and choose your sponsorships?
Well, you know how we pick them.
No, I mean, but I'm just saying
How do they? Okay, so I know exactly what you're saying. So at OpTic, it's like a group conversation, right?
Like Turtle Wax isn't really related to game, like, you know what I mean?
Right. It's not related to gaming.
Exactly.
Right. But what is it? But that's the perfect question too. Because everybody wondered the same thing. It's like, what does Turtle Wax have to do with game? I even saw some guy from another esports team tweet out, "Is like, Turtle Wax, I didn't see that coming." Right? Because he was thinking and a lot of people do this, and it's not wrong the way they think, but we don't think about OpTic as an esports franchise only. Right? We are media, marketing, esports, lifestyle, right? And what identifies more with you? Like, if you were to ask our fans, okay, let's say we have a gaming contest where we put, where we give fans like a they got to get a perfect score. Do you think that every single one of our fans will be able to identify which car goes to who in OpTic? Like, for example, if I put a red Jeep up there, do you think they're going to be like, that's Hitch's car?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a lifestyle thing, right? So they weren't necessarily them being involved in esports, and correct me if I'm wrong, you guys obviously are represent them, but esports became like a bonus to them, right? They were here to advertise with OpTic for the lifestyle stuff, and then esports, since we're so involved in esports, it was just like a byproduct of it. Or was esports like?
No, absolutely. I mean, look, despite what a lot of people probably think, and Ken can attest to this too, a lot of the conversation we have with sponsors isn't necessarily about understanding the games that you guys play. It's better understanding the lifestyle that you guys live. And that's what they want the association with. And look, for me, Turtle Wax, as much as I love all the different partnerships and sponsorships that we've facilitated and helped you guys with, I'm especially proud of Turtle Wax because, so when I was younger, right, like when it would literally be a full day to basically get my car ready every spring and every fall. It was compounding it, then you got to wax it, shampoo the carpets, clean the glass. Literally would take a good 6 or 7 hours, and you had to have the perfect weather conditions. Yeah. It couldn't be over a certain amount. You had to do it in the shade. You couldn't do it in direct sunlight. Yeah. So when the Turtle Wax clients came out here and their engineer, and they literally did Pamage's car from top to bottom in less than an hour in the bright sunlight, I was really excited. I mean, right? I mean, granted, I got a couple of years on you guys, but I was just like, this stuff is amazing. And I just figured anyone who follows you guys and is really into their cars and knows how much you guys are into your cars are totally going to appreciate. Because look, man, right? For you guys especially, what's your life all about? It's about music, your cars, right? Going out and having a good time. I mean, the cars are such a big part of your lifestyle. So I thought it was a great fit.
Yeah, and I think like also what you brought up too is like when people... When brands come to us and want to know really what the power is behind OpTic, it's called like a value proposition, right? So like, what do you guys bring to the table that will help them drive business and sales and all of those different elements, right? So I think that's really kind of what Dan's talking about is like when you look at the extension of the lifestyle piece with any brand, it's how do we package that up and bring that to them so that we say, all right, if you partner with OpTic, it's going to, help you drive your business in these different ways.
Do you have to show them like sales and stuff? Like, would you have to like if another sponsorship came in, and they were wondering like how much like of Turtle Wax that you push and sold? Like, do you have to show them that?
I mean, there's certain metrics that you guys use, right?
Yeah, there's certain metrics that we use. We have to be respectful of each different sponsor or partner because there are certain metrics that are proprietary to their business. Typically, what we do though is we outline the kind of demographic that you guys reach, right? And we're able to pull Twitter analytics, YouTube analytics, so we can help shape what your audience looks like. Yeah. But then we typically reverse engineer things. A lot of times clients will come to us and they'll say, what's the biggest thing we can do, right? Or OpTic's the biggest, and they come to us with these big ideas, and we just say, hey, put the brakes on, let's reverse it. What are your objectives? What do you want to do? And then we typically come back to Hector and or anyone else who's appropriate on the team and say, this is what they want to do. What do you think is a cool way to accomplish that?
Yeah. And that's when we have the meetings, and then that's when we discuss what we do.
Okay. But it gets back to Bose, what you were talking about earlier. Like, we say no more often than we say yes, because a lot of sponsors will come in and ask to do things that really are not very natural to what it's natural for them. They think it's cool.
So you're turning money away.
So... only with your permission, but you typically agree. That's the other thing to keep in mind too. Like, if it doesn't resonate and if it seems unnatural for you guys, it's totally going to come across to your audience, right? The audience definitely, the fans call out bullshit on everything.
That's true.
Their job.
Good point.
Well, it's like the same way like skateboarding was 10 years ago, or like any sort of action sports. When you look back, it's like it started off as a very like grassroots niche sort of industry, and then as more money was infused, like if you don't have people that are playing quality control and really paying attention to what's going on or what kind of partnerships are happening, then you get something where too much money comes in, and then
it's not worth it.
It's not worth it. No.
Yeah, for me specifically, it's not worth it.
Well, OpTic is a brand, right? Like, it's taken you over 11 years to cultivate this brand and build this kind of fan following. It's the same thing with a lot of your sponsors. Brisk Mate in particular, as you guys well know, they have certain guidelines around what you can and cannot do around the marketing. It's the same thing when we go back to the sponsors. We have brand guidelines for optics saying what's appropriate and what's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But I'm really good at just saying no straight up. No questions asked, nothing, and they're good at listening. So we like, no. Because I just know it's not even worth talking about or trying to discuss a way to disguise something into making it work. If it's not going to work, and my first my first intuition is like it's not going to work, I'm just going to say no right away.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, like when I first came into this, right? Because like I come from the world of like product placement, right? Where you're like trying to sneak a sponsor into a segment. Like it blew my mind that you guys just came out to your audience and you were so real with them, and we're just like, hey, we're excited about this new sponsor and we're partnering with them because X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Like that's an awesome dialogue to be able to have.
It's something that I've always done though, because and this is something that like an ongoing conversation that I and OpTic have with the Green Wall, and I always bring it up that we're here to entertain and bring home championships, but they the audience, you guys that watch this, or you guys part of the Green Wall, they have things to win too. Anything that's fan voted, anything that has to do with like fans showing up and supporting, like we're all one big like organic globule from which one extracts what one needs. That's from White Man Can't Jump. Anyway, but it's like
Billy.
It's like a really good conversation and a good it's good teamwork at the end of it, right? Like the Green Wall are our team members essentially because they're the ones that help us win fan voted stuff, and that's their championship like rounds. Like us winning the ESPN thing and having Formal and Lethal like in the finals, that was not us doing that. That was the fans winning that for
that was crazy.
That was their championship.
That was crazy.
Right? Like that was their championship to win. And I said it, I'm like, look, this is we win championships, right? Like that's our job. We bring you entertainment. That's our job. Your job for you to win, and you're now involved in this as part of the team. You guys have to vote, right? So it's like them winning, we win, and we all win, and it's like a really good relationship. Look, it's my life's passion, right? To have this relationship with the audience that makes them the Green Wall. Because I was literally one of the first bricks in the Green Wall with my brother Diesel, Carlton, Nerve, Jay. Like we were the first Green Wall members. We're the first 5 guys to stand behind the players and cheer them on and do that. So to have all these people join us is like a dream come true.
Yeah, it's cool. It's validation for all the hard work that you guys have put in, right? As the space is growing, as it's elevating, as new people are getting involved.
What do you like about the space the most? The esports, the whole thing. What do you like the most?
Honestly, I just like the personalities.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's like when I was younger, it would have been more like nerd culture.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like now it's just kind of moved into like this sort of mainstream popular culture. And I think like just the personalities and everyone involved, there's a lot of like really cool people that I'm just like simpatico with.
Outside of OpTic members,
Yeah.
who's a good personality in your opinion?
Who's a what?
A good personality in your opinion. First one that comes to your head.
I mean, I really like Tom.
Tom
I got a
Sagan?
new one that I didn't just find out about, that I actually just started watching.
Yeah.
And like I can't stop watching.
What?
Ice Poseidon. You know
What's
what
that?
is?
Nah.
He plays like battlegrounds and stuff, but he live streams outside. Like he walks around on Hollywood Boulevard with like a big ass setup.
Battlegrounds?
Literally live streaming,
Oh, that's
bro.
funny.
Like
Battlegrounds?
20,000 people. Yeah. Or not is it? It's like the H1Z1 game.
Yeah, Pub Battlegrounds?
Yeah, he plays
Outside?
that too. No, but he like live streams himself walking around outside. Like he'll go to restaurants and stuff.
Yeah.
And he'll like go in, like set his camera up. He'll start eating. He'll be talking. He can read his chat on his phone, and he's literally live streaming. And people will like call the restaurant where he's eating and say, "You got to kick this guy out." People will come up to him while he's eating, like, someone's on the phone for you. Someone sprayed him with a fire extinguisher. It's crazy,
real?
bro. You gotta
That's
watch the
dope. I do.
highlights.
That's
It's
That
dope
sounds
as hell.
dope as fuck.
He literally walks around outside.
I'm stealing that. I don't
vlogging.
care. I'm going to do that. It's
We're
the
not
new iteration
vlogging,
of vlogging.
live streaming.
Yeah, it's fine. It's the new
All
thing.
day. He went homeless for 24 hours. The shit was crazy.
Well, I'm doing that. That's so good. What's
Bro,
his name?
Ice Poseidon.
That's the man. I haven't heard of him, and I think that's like one of the greatest ideas ever.
He's literally a
I hate
god.
when I don't think about those good ideas out
Yeah.
there. So I pride myself in being like this
He has like
creative
a big,
person.
like, I don't even know what it is, like a setup. He just walks around with it.
Yeah,
all
well,
day.
he has this. A lot of battery, a lot of that.
Yeah.
Damn, Ice Poseidon. I'm gonna look into that. Dan, what's your favorite thing about esports?
Really what I discussed earlier, man, it's just that level of engagement. And I think, the accessibility of guys like you, right, and even on the other teams. I think what's really cool, though, is that a lot of what we see in this space is not people going over the top to get attention. They're just being themselves, and that's really resonating with a lot of the fans. So, I definitely have a couple of years on you guys, but for me, it's
not
just
that many.
watching that level of
Yeah,
engagement.
dude, right? It's like when you watch football after Drew Brees is done playing, like you don't get to engage with him afterwards. You don't get to like hit him up on Twitter. I mean, you can hit him up on Twitter, I guess, but you don't see him on streams or like you don't have the opportunity to watch him practice.
Yeah.
Like that's cool.
That is cool. I mean, I can tell you everything I love about it, but everybody knows. In terms of if you were to give advice to up-and-coming teams, up-and-coming personalities and players, what would you, without giving away the secret sauce, obviously, this proprietary information to Op?
No, sure.
But, just basics, do's and don'ts. Like,
No, so
okay, let's say you are, and you have a team of 4, and you have.
Cool. Let's start off like this. Let's ask. Wait. What do you like?
No, you go.
I was gonna ask the question that you wanted me to ask, but like break it down from there. So like, never mind. I'll let you go, and then I'll ask about the sponsorships and stuff. My bad.
So, no, look, I know exactly where you're going. My advice to everyone, whether it's a sponsor, a team that's trying to make it, is stop trying to replicate what everyone else is doing. Like, you got to create your own personality. You have to create your own niche. You have find your lane. This is what we talk about all the time, even with our sponsors, is you can't own everything. Pick your lane, stay in that lane, and stop trying to replicate what everyone else is doing.
Yeah. Okay. That's some solid advice. I was talking about more of like step 1. What do you do? Do you get? So I know how I did it, but not what I do, as you said. Finding your own lane. And I think what you were trying to say, like in the overall picture, is like be yourself. Everybody else is taken. I'm kidding. No, but
it's like developing a brand, right? It's developing a brand for yourself, for your organization.
How do you do that? How did we do that?
You make a really cool logo and call yourself a CEO.
Yeah. No, you can't. I mean,
I'm just
step
kidding.
1, you need a fire logo.
Fire logo.
You need it. It needs to
all right, let's all give one tip. You fire logo?
Gotta have a good logo. Gotta look good on jerseys.
Yep.
Online.
Innovate.
Gotta catch people's attention.
Innovate is
Innovate.
your advice?
You got to be doing something that no one else is doing.
You have to be consistent.
Yeah.
Right.
Consistent?
You have to post every day at the same damn time.
Do you watch my vlog?
Of course.
No, do you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you watch it because you're entertained by it, or do you watch it because you want to make sure that I didn't?
I just make sure that when I'm about to talk to you, I know like what you've been up to.
Do you watch my vlog?
Every day at the same damn time.
You're lying. All right.
Dude, you and I have had this discussion. I literally, at the end of my day, I get home when I'm making dinner.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe 6 or 7 o'clock, I literally throw on your vlog, and that's literally how I start my evening every night.
Cool. Well, I mean, I would too. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But
It's called quality content.
yeah, quality content. I often think that you guys watch my vlogs just to make sure that there was no leaks that happened.
Well, also that, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you wait until by that time there's been like 8 hours of leak.
No, because usually when something gets screwed up, it gets screwed up on like Twitter or
On social
Instagram
media,
before it gets screwed up.
Like
in
the
a vlog.
Reddit detectives, right?
I always tell myself, I'm like, well, that's just Hector like building up hype. That's him like leaking it on purpose.
You can literally tweet out a team picture. They won't even look at anyone in the picture. They look what's behind it, what's on the ground.
The Reddit
Well, no.
detectives.
So this is really
Detectives.
funny, right? Like
Reddit
I won't call out the
That's what they
specific.
call themselves, and they're so fucking good.
Reddit U.S. Marshals.
So I'm not going to call out the specific sponsor, but one of the discussions that we had was literally they wanted to change something in the video, and we had a long discussion back and forth as to why they shouldn't. Right, and they wound up. We said, hey, we'll meet you guys in the middle, but this is what's going to happen. And literally, like, the fans go frame by frame and screenshot, and they're like, why did you do that? And we were like, look, man, we told you. Like, they notice everything.
There's a kind of like a predictable narrative that'll unfold within the comments for any piece of content.
I always know. I always know it before it even happens. Like I know what the comments are going to say before the video goes up. Right?
Yeah,
I already know.
Like, you know, half the comments about this podcast are going to be about Hector's kicks.
my Pumas.
Yeah.
All right, so
they're gonna like this one. They're gonna be like, "Wow, I never knew OpTic really had people behind this. This is crazy."
that they had that I had people like helping.
Yeah.
Yeah. I look, to my credit, when did you start working with us? 2 years ago?
A little over 2 years ago.
Little over 2 years ago. So before that, it was just like us just running like crazy, right? Because we talked before you even came on board, just as just like conversations, and you'd be like, why are you doing this or why aren't you doing that, right? But I'm not ever going to discredit the work that I've done just on my own, right? Because Jay just came on board last year. Dan has been with me for 2 years. But before that, it was me, and us. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
look, I mean, it's still very much is you guys. Where we complement or help you guys is, right, we've discussed this all the time.
Yeah.
We're not going to tell you guys how to do content. We don't tell you how to trade players, right? We don't tell you how to play games, but our lane is sponsorship. And I think that's where that's really how our conversation started between you and I was like, why are you doing that? Because I thought you guys were being really undervalued relative to what you had to offer. And that's we're still working on it to this day. I think not only OpTic, but I think esports in general is really undervalued relative to other opportunities that are out there.
Yeah, and to be clear, like they don't know. They only know sponsorship as far as like teams and decisions and content. Like they're not a part of that conversation. But when it comes to like content and when it comes to sponsorships, content, then that's like the conversation that we have. But I've never felt like I've never put myself in a position to be like, I really don't want to fucking do this, but I'm gonna do it because it's money. You know, I've never ever done that. Like I don't think.
Well, no. So here's a perfect example. I'm not going to call out the specific product. Remember last fall, there was a packaged good company that came to us with a grooming product, and they wanted OpTic to create what they were calling like snackable content. Remember, they wanted to create like this weekly content, 3 to 4 minute videos, and their tagline was so bad. And I remember before I even brought it to you, I was like, dude, I'm like, this is a really cool company.
Make fun of us.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing Hector said was, "Can we change their tagline?"
Yeah,
dude. If
it's like a
people were to
giant
do that,
CPG
that would ruin
company.
their company.
Yeah.
Literally ruin their company. It'd be like they make
no,
fun
but
of us.
but the challenge that we had is like, it's a really good company and it's a good product, but at the end of the day, my attitude was like, look, man, if you guys aren't buying into this tagline, the fans aren't going to buy into it. And if anything, that should help them. It's like, look, that tagline is bad. It's not resonating with your core audience at all. Learn from it before you engage these guys and let them. They just refuse to do it.
Yeah. Again, if somebody comes in, like say an advertiser comes in and just says, all right, this is what we want you to do, and this is how we want you to do it, and just like say, we're going to pay you for that. I'm gonna be like, no, that's not how it works at OpTic. You tell us what you want us to say to people, and then we'll tell you how to do it or what sort of messaging.
Yeah, you guys
gets out there.
you guys interpret like the typical brand marketing stuff for your fans.
Yeah, and it's not even like, again, it's not even like the fans. It's like the green wall is so. I respect it a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm accountable to two people, me and the green wall. I mean, I'll always give them. I always know what they want, and they criticize me sometimes, but I always know what they want. Like I always know how to like give them what they want without them asking for it. And even when they ask for stuff, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. We don't want that. You think you want that? You don't want that, right? So for me to just be like, hey guys, look, this is a fucking new sponsor. Never. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It'd be career suicide. You know what I'm saying? It'd be betraying our. What do you keep looking at, Ken?
Oh, I just like, staring outside, just kind of daydreaming.
Am I boring you? I'm kidding.
I have a question.
He's looking at all the trophies.
All right, so obviously, like some sponsors are like, like censored, like on the internet. They don't want people posting like crazy stuff, like coming out of their mouth the wrong way and judging people, just tweeting crazy stuff. Yeah. But all right, so do they actually care about that? Like, do sponsors actually like go back and, like basically like browse, you know what I mean? Just see what you've been tweeting or what you've been saying, and do some sponsors like actually like when you speak your mind?
It's a balancing act, and I think you guys have been really good at it, right? Like, I mean, we talk about this all the time, that esports we approach through the lens of traditional sport. We pretty much present you guys as being like the Dallas Cowboys of the industry, right? You got a couple bad boys, but I mean, there's definitely a persona and personality. So there's a little bit of latitude with sponsors, right? Like, we are very clear with sponsors or anyone who wants to participate with you guys that at the end of the day, they have to let you guys be yourselves. We totally understand that there might be certain language or certain topics that they want to steer away from, but at the end of the day, you guys have to be yourselves. So yeah, they do scrub and they do go through the social profiles. They definitely look at the posts, But I think there's a little bit of give and take of letting you guys be yourself while still being on message for them, right? Without going over the top too much.
Yeah.
Are we clean enough, do you think? Because
from my standpoint, I think you guys are cleaning up. But
Yeah.
the thing you need to remember is that as bigger companies, Fortune 500 companies come in, right? This is part of the struggle that we've had is that they want to dictate kind of how you guys present, and that's where we push back the most. I'd say the biggest challenge we have is getting big brands to just take a breath, step back a little bit, and realize that if you guys present things the way you want to, the world's not going to stop spinning.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think there's two things, right? There's branded content and there's unbranded content. Yeah. So like for just your guys' regular, the things that you guys typically put out on a daily basis, I think you guys are really good about, even if you say shit or damn, it's not used in a context where it's meant to like, I know, I want to hear the piece. It's not meant to like,
I know what
deface someone else's like brand. They're like someone else, or you guys aren't like shit talking online most of the time. But
if you guys drop an F-bomb, it's not because you're trying to go over the top. It's just like part of the conversation.
I think that I also tap myself on the back for that specific, because from the beginning I always said, don't swear on Twitter.
Yeah, and you guys do a good job of. That's one thing. Like, bro, literally, you've like trained everyone when they got here to not. You think about it. Like, you'll tweet something, be like, you'll go like type something out, you'll be like, Hex isn't gonna like that. Let me go.
It's just swearing on Twitter. It's not a big deal. I don't swear on Twitter, so you don't have to swear on Twitter. And it's not even that. It's just in case, man. Just in case somebody just happens to be there.
Because like legitimately, you asked like if people go back and look, like there are teams of people at some of these large like CPG brands, right? Like
CPG,
consumer packaged goods.
Yep.
Right. So like, I don't know. I'm not even gonna put any names out there, but they have teams of people that are dedicated to scrubbing their influencers' social profiles, just to see like how do they position themselves. Like when something super like racy is happening in the media, like do they comment on it? Are they super political? How are they positioning it? Are they swearing? Are they right? All that stuff comes into effect.
But he also just said something that we've actually been trying to get away from. I at this point I don't like using the term influencer. Like, to me, you guys are professional eSport, like you're pros. I'm not saying that like the term influencer should not be used, but from a lot of these non-endemic brands that are getting involved in the space right now, when they think of influencer, they just think of like a YouTuber, and then they don't differentiate between like a PewDiePie, right? We've had this conversation. They don't see that there's a difference between like a PewDiePie and a Syndicate and one of you guys. Right. And that's part of the challenge for us too, is like, they're it's a different approach, and there are different rules within those spaces. And at the end of the day, like, OpTic is a professional esports team. And that's what we really try to drive home is that, a big part of why you guys are who you are is because of esports and winning championships and being dedicated to winning. Yeah,
there's kind of like two lanes there, right? It's like, you have the esports lane and you have the influencer lane, and the YouTubers and a lot of the streamers, like those guys are like media entities, right? And they're kind of treated as such in a lot of ways in the marketplace. Yeah. Where you guys, it's like,
a perfect hybrid of both.
You guys are like,
it is.
You guys are perfect, right? But like if you look at like Peyton Manning or something, right? Like you're not going to ask him to like within his deliverables from a sponsor, like you're going to treat him totally different than you would from, like Casey Neistat or something. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. Sure. I think that there's a big misconception out there as well that, how do I explain this? Because I don't want to come across wrong. So because we are, for example, Peyton Manning, right? Does he drive a Buick? Like, he's sponsored by Buick, right? Like, so they paid him to do commercials for Buick, right? But is that all he drives? Like, no, there isn't, right? Again, there's the elements of the lifestyle.
I mean, a Buick is a nice car, though.
No, 1,000%. Yeah, it's in case Buick's watching. No, I'm kidding. But I know that there's people out there that just immediately think that a brand is going to come in and just force you to always drink brisk mate, right? They always do that, and that is not the case. Luckily for us, and you guys, and the way that you guys educate these people coming in, you tell them, it's like, listen, when you sponsor OpTic, like you guys are going to be like the official, whatever. But you got to understand that when it comes to the lifestyle stuff, like they are going to be doing other stuff that doesn't necessarily like fall into place with this particular thing. Like everything has a time and a place. And it's not as stringent as people may see it out there, right?
Like on Friday, I'm not going to be taking shots using my chaser with a brisk mate,
Right.
Well, look, I don't think Tom Brady only wears Under Armour clothing, right? Like
That's a good
when
point.
he goes out is whatever it is. Granted, like that's his lane, and they sponsor him, but that's not all he's going to wear.
Right.
Yeah, it comes down to the contracts, right? Like, what are the deliverables that a sponsor sees as the value proposition with sponsoring OpTic, right? If it's on stream, we want you to only drink brisk mate, then on stream you drink brisk mate, or whatever it might be, right? So,
But even then, they've been like super cool to.
But they're also all about the lifestyle.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the reasons why I think we got excited about the partnership initially was the focus was not around esports. The focus was around the lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
You guys as individuals, collectively, the house, right? Versus where you look at other energy drinks or other drinks that are in the space. They're going in a totally different direction. So for me, it was cool for them to come in. It gave you guys a lot of latitude as to how you can incorporate them into your own brand.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, guys. I mean, at some point or another, you're gonna have to put yourself out there and prove a concept, right? We've gotten to the point to where we're at because we've done a really good job at delivering delivering stuff the right way. And the comfort level between our sponsors and the relationship is that they trust that we're never going to veer away from the core value of whatever messaging / culture that they have in the particular sponsorship, right? But at some point or another, you're going to have to prove yourself that you're worthy enough to have their trust in doing that. And that to me is like the most valuable thing, right? Because the more that these guys do right by those brands, the easier it's going to be for them to continue to support us, to continue, because at the end of the day, right, the one of the main lifelines of esports organizations like OpTic is the sponsorships, right? Without sponsorships, we wouldn't have been able to expand into Counter-Strike or continue to make the appropriate moves within a specific esport if we don't have the money to do so.
But I think it goes a lot deeper than that. And I know we discussed this earlier and we didn't want to talk about the topic, but when I read through the comments on occasion and someone just says sell out, to me that's disappointing because you talk a lot about team expansion, right? But from our perspective, when I look at it, I'm like, individually and collectively, you guys are competing on a global level.
Yeah.
And I don't think that a lot of the fans truly understand that all those expenses, right? Flying overseas, staying in hotels, literally having to be in a couple of different countries simultaneously with different teams or individuals, that costs money. And a lot of those costs, you guys have to take, right? You guys have to take that on. So the reason why you guys are able to expand and do these things and travel and have that kind of presence is because, right, you need sponsor money to help you guys do that.
Yeah. Some of the times when the fans write sellout is more like a troll. And unless you watch Twitch on a regular basis, you'll understand that the chat itself is like its own little form of entertainment,
Right, yeah.
So to give you an example, I was watching one of I think it was IEM something, and in between they would run a commercial. Now, something that's traditional to sport, but the fans would call like the tournament organizers sellouts just as a joke, like sellout because he's got a but you know what I'm saying, like when I saw that I was like, that's mad funny, right? Like, because I'm like, so sometimes it does apply and sometimes it's just like them being trolls, but for the most part, like in esports, fans get excited when you get a new partnership, right? Like I get asked all the time on Reddit, maybe not all the time, but often enough, is like, when's the new sponsor coming in? Are they, the number one question is like, are there any new partnerships in the future that are coming by that we should be like looking out for? Which to me is good, right? Because they understand and they themselves are excited for that, because they know that money is going to continue to help.
Yeah, but a lot of that has to do with the fact that when we approach sponsorship and partnerships, the first priority for you guys is the fans, right? Like, what value is this going to bring our audience? Obviously, there's a inherent value that it brings to OpTic for all the things we just talked about, but what value is this going to bring the fans? And I think they recognize that.
Well, even the Turtle Wax thing, like, the debate that ensued on Reddit when that announcement happened, it's like the fans got to like where we were with the brand decision.
Yeah.
Like just through their conversation on Twitter.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, well, this makes sense because it's a lifestyle and the guys have nice cars and
Yep.
it's an extension. Like those are all things that we talked about,
Yep.
but didn't tell anyone, and they got there themselves.
Yep. Yep.
And same thing happened with Turtle Beach, right? Like when you guys switched over,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
everything
huge.
exploded initially, but the fans
Yeah.
literally had a conversation amongst themselves, and it settled down in a
Yeah.
pretty short amount of time.
Yeah, you guys changed like, right?
Just
Like,
changed it.
yeah, you
Switched
changed the
everyone up.
entire perception of like who Turtle Beach was in the marketplace.
Yeah.
Literally switched everyone up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think again that's the level of engagement that the Reddit detectives and the audience themselves have within that conversation. I mean, something that I wanted to ask, because this has been asked. I see it all the time. Do you guys have conversations with the people? I mean, obviously we do, but I want you to answer this. When people complain about Brisk not being available for them to go grab, that's going to be like complimentary as hell to one OpTic, and thank you guys for doing that. But more importantly to the people at Brisk, right? Like Brisk Mate is not available, and people are mad because they can't get a product. That's got to be like some sort of like that's got to make them feel good, right? That somebody's out there mad at them because they can't get something that you provided.
I would agree to a certain extent. I mean, look, absolutely. At the end of the day, when you can illustrate that they can't keep up with demand, or they're actually creating demand where the sponsor wasn't necessarily anticipating demand, that's absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's a positive all around.
Yeah, I mean, like Pepsi, right? When they release a product, they do test markets.
Yeah.
And really, that's what Brisk Mate was in a lot of ways. It was a new product,
Yeah.
and they wanted to see if they could drive demand for this new product, this new flavor.
Yeah.
Right? What you guys showed is that, yeah, there's a huge demand for this product.
Yeah.
And it was done exclusively on the backs of your organization.
Yeah.
So,
So look,
I need to re-emphasize this, because I don't think people get like, how big was the fact that a company like Pepsi wanted to launch a brand new product, not market tested, not anything tested, just to entrust OpTic, because they're in the business of making like products and making money, right? Like they're a blue chip company, as they call them. Like, how important was it? I mean, it had to have been a win for you, for sure, right? To convince somebody to.
I mean, it was huge then, and it's huge now.
yeah.
Right? I mean, it's still a story, and there's still that demand, and you guys will be talking in a couple of weeks about how this is all evolving. So look, from our standpoint, it's a win all around, and it's definitely something we want to brag about in the marketplace. But also for you guys, I mean, I tell you all the time, you should definitely take a bow, because I really don't think no one's ever done this.
Yeah, I mean, they're one of the most recognizable brands in the world.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
You guys were
And they
literally
trusted you
creating
guys.
demand overseas for Brisk, right?
Yeah.
Because there were people, I remember reading through like London and Paris, and people are like, I want that over here.
Yeah.
So it wasn't only the demand what's really fascinating for us is showing how you guys drive demand, not only domestically,
Yeah.
but even globally, right? The food you eat, the stuff you guys drink, maybe the apparel that you guys wear. People overseas, they can't get it, and they're like, I want that.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. Like when branded people would come over, or if we had a party, like they'd be like, "What is that?"
Okay.
Take a sip of this. Take a sip of that.
Swig on this.
Yeah,
real quick.
take a swig of that.
Yeah. Let me bless it.
You can't even get this in Illinois.
But it's even cool when we go to tournaments. Like on occasion, the fans are all lined up for the autographs, and people will start yelling out, their favorite flavor of mate. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot of good stuff for us, obviously, but
It's trust, man.
Good.
Brands trust you.
Good. Well, that's good. I want to touch a little bit more on how up and comers can better present themselves like to brands, because it's not something that you learn like immediately, right? It's not something that you can just get out there. What are some like key indicators that would show that your team is ready for a sponsorship, or not only just a regular sponsorship, but a good sponsorship? Do you guys like have any like sort of metric that says, all right, look, if you have 100,000 followers on Twitter, that's like a good starting point, or is it 50,000 followers on Twitter, or is it important to have that many?
How fast you got the followers?
Yeah, like is that important to brands, or?
I mean, yes and no. I think it goes back to a lot of what we're talking about, right? It's your branding, it's your marketing, it's the team structure that you have in place so that when a brand comes in, they know that if they give you a set of deliverables that you could pull it off, right? And then it's also professionalism, right? Like talking, like how you mentioned, you curated a culture here where guys are thinking twice about what they're going to post on Twitter, right? So it's like that same sort of level of quality control needs to be in place and that infrastructure before any of that could really come to fruition.
Dan?
No, I mean, I have to agree. The bottom line is it really comes down to professionalism and organization. When we look at opportunities in the marketplace, part of my frustration is I think a lot of brand marketers just look at numbers, right? When we ask them, how do you identify an influencer? Most of them can't really...
No,
most of them don't have an answer.
Arbitrary number. It's
or they come up with an arbitrary number.
followers.
They're like, oh, they have 20,000 Instagram followers and they have 50,000 Twitter followers. And we look at it and we say...
You have to be verified on Instagram, too.
Damn,
That's the big
boss.
thing.
He said that specifically for you.
Oh, let me check. Oh, no.
Are you?
No.
It's supposed to come in today.
It's not coming in today.
Mike's came
It's
in
my
today.
luck. Car crash, phone crack. It's not coming.
Taxes are due.
It's not
Guys,
coming.
to be clear, you don't have to be verified on Twitter or on Instagram, too. It's
I
a
was
joke. We're
trolling
teasing.
you.
Yeah.
We're
No,
teasing Bose.
No. I mean, like I said, they just come up with these arbitrary numbers, and we approach it differently. We look at, of course, numbers are important, and your fan base and your following is important.
Yep.
But when we look at influence, we don't necessarily look at influence that you have within your own audience. Do you have influence that goes beyond that? So, a lot of the business, even with the business account for OpTic, we still get a lot of fan mail.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you how many times like a mom, a dad, a grandparent will write in and say that my son or my daughter is looking for this because one of the guys on the team had mentioned it. And to me, that's true influence, where you can actually influence behavior outside of the 25-year-old person who follows your content every day. When their family members or their friends who don't follow you start asking, to me, that's what really that's what defines influence.
But it does dictate like the level of investment from a potential sponsor a lot of times, because at the end of the day, these folks are just looking for awareness and engagements. Brand marketers have KPIs, which are like key performance indicators, to report to their board of directors, right? So they could say, from partnering with this team, we saw 3 million impressions. So the more followers you have, obviously, the higher premium you can command.
Yep. Yeah, I think in situations like that, I think it's good to package yourself in a position to where you can be like, look, I have 10,000 followers on Twitter, but I have 50,000 followers on YouTube, which means that on a regular basis, I can reach 1,000 people on Twitter, and then an extra 5,000 people here. The last thing you want to do is to land a sponsorship and just like not take care of it, right? It's somebody handing you a plant and you not watering it. It's an ecosystem, right? It's a symbiotic relationship that you guys both benefit from. So for you to just take money in, just take money and then just say fuck it, if I'll just put it out to not only you're damaging your audience and your fans who have trust in you, but you're also damaging a relationship that could be fruitful for the rest of your career. So in terms of future, and we'll end it on this next conversation. In terms of future, let's start here. What companies do you think are out there that are not that should be involved in esports but haven't yet? Chipotle, Subway, like restaurants, KFC,
At least
pizza?
Subway. I think Subway.
Subway would be good.
I think Subway. I don't see like Chipotle or anything.
Why don't you see Chipotle?
All right, think
Just
about,
'cause,
let
like-
me ask you this. Okay, let me ask you this.
What?
I think Chipotle makes more sense than anybody else. Subway too, Jersey Mike's like sub plays, but think about how many pros talk about Chipotle on a daily basis. That's the only one that I think that like it should.
The only
be
one,
a thing.
the only reason why I say not Chipotle is just because like, I don't know. I've never at least in my knowledge, I haven't seen Chipotle sponsor anyone or like a person or like an organization yet. But I've seen Subway like sponsor multiple people.
Oh, you
I
mean
always
like
see
athletes
them,
and stuff?
Yeah, I always see them like pushing advertising. I see Subway commercials. I don't see Chipotle commercials.
Did you ever see Brisk sponsor anybody? Until they had to bring in,
That's true, but you're the first to do it.
Exactly. So I mean, hopefully we could be the first for like
That's
a
true, Chipotle.
Subway or something.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, that's the example.
So
Any
I'm really honestly
brands,
like,
not just food.
yeah, no, automotive, man. I had like I love the fact that Turtle Wax is in the space right now. They've been in the space for over a year.
Yeah.
Where the hell is Ford? Where the hell is Nissan? Where's
We need to
Toyota?
get- we need to
Where's
get Bose a
Chevrolet?
Buick.
So
Well, let's pick if you can. Let's. I mean, obviously, I don't know if you could pick one category to come into the space or to sponsor you. Like for example, who would you want to sponsor you? If you were to say, I want this person or this company to sponsor me today, who would it be? And then I'll tell you who I would
Ooh, that's
pick
a
for me.
good one.
we're not necessarily one. Like name a couple that you would love to be participating.
Let's go with the Jumpman, Jordan.
Jordan, me too.
That'd be
Yourself.
crazy.
Bro. Can you imagine?
That'd be
Or
crazy.
Adidas. Like we don't have. How do we not have? Okay, let's.
That's
let's
what I was
actually
going to
not-
say.
let's not
Apparel,
do it.
right?
Yeah,
Let's
let's
not
not
get
do
into
it.
that
No, we can't.
conversation.
We can't. I look. I would hate for somebody to be like, you're sponsored by Nike. You can't wear Adidas. You can't wear Yeezys. Or, you're sponsored by Adidas. You can't wear Jordans. Or you're sponsored by
That's
Jordans. You
true.
can't wear. That's like a commitment that. That's a commitment that
I
I don't
don't-
know if I'm
yeah, that's
ever
true.
ready.
You can wear them, but you can only wear
You
them
could pull
like
the
in your
Meek Mill,
bedroom.
post on IG, but blur out the feet.
No, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, I think we're ready for that sort of sports company to come in, but they have to be as cool as
Yeah,
everybody
they gotta
else
come
has been.
strong. Like the different swish ups every day. I need different colors in the pants.
You know the swishers. Can
It's
you
a
imagine?
lifestyle.
Lifestyle, yeah.
hats.
So okay, damn. All right, I'm gonna have to answer something else, but I think Jordan is a good answer. Like I didn't even think about like sneakers, but that's a good one.
Jordan.
Let's see. For me, I think it would have to.
Doritos.
I'd be down for. I mean, I do eat Doritos a lot, but I don't think
Lunchables.
Lunchables would be legit. Bro, Capri Sun.
I think even like granola bars.
Yeah,
Or
that's
something
true.
like
Yeah.
like Nature Valley.
I'm
right?
down with that.
Like really nice granola
I got
bars.
I got a really good story about Nature Valley. It's as hard as it is to believe this. It kind of saved me for a hangover one time at an E3 at an Xbox party. It did. Like if I didn't, I had nothing in the condo that I rented that E3.
And you found
Nothing.
a little granola bar.
No, I had the person that was there before had like a box full of granolas, and I'm sitting there like I just got there. I'm drunk. I drank I pounded the water that I needed to drink in order for me to know. But I was just hungry, and I'm like, I looked, I found granolas. I sat down, was watching Sports Center, and I just ate like 5 of them. I woke up, and I'm like, was it the water or was it the granola? I just say it was a mix. Man. So I'm ready for some granola.
Well,
bars
even
to
you
come
look
in.
at like
a cereal, bro. Imagine a cereal.
Oh, yeah.
Cocoa Puffs. Holla at me.
Frosted
Flakes.
Dude, I'm with you. Or Reese's. Have you tried
Ooh,
Reese's?
yeah, I could do
That's a
Reese's.
little step above Cocoa
Bro,
Puffs.
literally the Reese's Puffs might be the best cereal they've ever made.
No, Reese's.
I'm
Reese's,
dead serious.
Is it?
I'm dead serious with Dan.
Yeah.
Oh, I know who can sponsor me right now. Hublot.
Ooh, Rolex. He don't like them, so
No, I agree. I think a watch brand should absolutely be involved. I mean, for you guys in particular, but even in the space, right? People like watches. everything.
Imagine
Yeah.
if like. Let's see what else. What else?
maybe some.
What do you think? What do you for us? What do you see? What do you see for us? I mean, if you have anything in the works, don't say that one. But
I mean, I would say the top categories, we want to go after a CPG, and we just look at, again, your lifestyle, and that also revolves around what you guys do at tournaments.
yeah,
And that's
Um,
like cereals, granola bars, like all that stuff.
Automotive for sure, but then I would love, you guys are so reliant upon data because of your lifestyle,
yeah.
right?
Where's
because
our
of what
phone
you do.
plans, man?
No, man, exactly. Like an ATT or
That's a good
Verizon,
one.
like one of those guys for sure, I think would be
T-Mobile.
awesome.
Listen, this is what I always say about when people are like, "Why aren't you sponsored by fucking Comcast or by AT&T or something?" I'm like, "Look, because if it goes down, we're talking shit. We're gonna call them. I'm like, yo, Comcast,
Oh, yeah.
why is
We definitely can't get sponsored by Comcast. They don't want no parts with us.
they don't want that. They don't want to
To have
but
those
you know what
people.
makes
unless they're
ton of
ready to
sense?
change. Unless they're ready to change our minds, and
Yeah,
they're gonna
that's
give us
true.
what we need.
Look, you know what? Like United Airlines is located literally downtown Chicago, but you guys travel so much. I'm literally like, you know what? You guys should totally have an airline sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? You're on the road constantly.
There was this thing earlier, how United Airlines, how they wake you up for your snacks. It's a guy sleeping in the car, and someone just goes.
You see that SpongeBob that he's like looking all weird, like the SpongeBob. You know what I'm talking about, that meme of SpongeBob.
Wait, he's like the older one now.
Yeah,
It's
he's
like
like
a weird one.
He's like a real mean one.
Yeah,
It's like how they put a whole bunch of them in like in a plane. It's like how customers of United are. Are acting right now. You know what's crazy is that Scoots, I think it was Scoots. Sir Scoots is like this personality in Counter-Strike. He's a super cool dude, very knowledgeable in the space. But he himself called them out. Like, United, you need good PR. The gamers. But I don't think they could come back from that.
It would be a fantastic distraction for them to get involved in esports right away.
Yeah, right. Be like,
right?
Yeah, whatever.
We're sponsored by OpTic. We're with OpTic Gaming now.
They're like, oh my God.
They'll win the internet over.
Well, I feel like they got to make fun of themselves at some point.
And time to
right?
pound. I mean,
Time to pound. Yeah, there you go. T2P. United, hit us up. T2P. Time to pound. Time to beat your ass.
Damn, that guy's about to get hella cheddar.
How would you have reacted if you're that?
He wouldn't have grabbed me out of that seat like that.
If you, all right, hold on. Hold on.
I would have just
Don't make me unite you right now. All right, what? So
you just like awkwardly go completely rigid.
Yeah.
Like it's just completely they're like trying to pick you up again.
yeah, but they beat his ass first.
No, it was a struggle. It wasn't like let's jump on this dude. If they told you you gotta get the fuck off your seat, we need somebody. Would you have gotten up or would you have?
I mean, I would have probably negotiated for a high amount of money, right?
Yeah.
How much are you going to pay me to get off the plane?
Yeah. It's like I gotta get back to my mom.
I would not.
If I
that
really
seat without
really had to
negotiating.
go, right? Some of those because that guy was with his wife or something, right?
Yeah.
His kids.
Yeah.
In that case, then no.
It's like,
Hold on.
yeah.
Why didn't they kick
else?
somebody out from first class?
Yeah.
Why they gotta take?
Yeah, right. Like, why wouldn't someone who's in first class get on another first class seat? Like,
Well, supposedly they arbitrarily picked those 4 people, right? You're not going to typically split up a married couple that's traveling together. They said they just randomly chose 4 people.
But you can't. How would you? If somebody came out because they were cops?
I would have been like, yeah, they would. You got to get up.
They were Chicago
what?
cops.
You just pretend to be asleep.
Something. I'd be like, I'm not getting up.
I'd be like, I gotta get. What if they grabbed you though?
And I'd be like, I'll pay you to not get me off this plane. I'd
Oh,
fucking.
they grabbed me like they listen.
Hell no.
They picked the right guy to grab. I'm prepared.
I'd let him beat me up.
I'm prepared for that. Listen, I'm not gonna move. You
Please
grab me,
drag me through the aisle like that.
Thank you. I'm about to own a private jet.
Yeah,
for
Thank
real.
you. I'm never gonna have to. Yeah, please make me own a private jet. I'm good.
For real.
Dan, would you have let him kick you out of your first class seat?
Man, I think I'd go the route of Ken, and I would negotiate like crazy. And if I didn't get what I wanted, I would just go all like, do what you got to do.
Limp.
Yeah, just go limp and make them literally drag me off that plane.
I would have been. Oh my god! I think we should make a skit of
See
how
this
you.
NyQuil?
Not me. I would have been like, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, no. And then the second they grab me, I'd be like, what are you? I'm like, what? Like, just start throwing my head around.
Start
and shit.
throwing your head into their
Yeah,
fist.
it's like no, into anything. I'd be like, I didn't want to do this. Like, I started convulsing, and that's what happened. I think
Convulsing.
oh, fuck. No, I just don't understand where in any scenario they thought that it was going to be okay. Like, there's no way that you think that you can't force somebody to do something after they paid for something. You know what I'm saying? Like, in my mind, I don't know who.
How does that even happen?
Who got trained so badly, or who doesn't have the common sense that says we just can't. We got to take an L. These guys are gonna have to go somewhere else. Get them in a different. It's your employees. You know what I'm saying? Like, get them in a different. I don't understand where.
So to be clear, we are not going to approach United for a sponsorship of OpTic Gaming.
No, they don't. No, they have too bad PR. Just the way that sponsorships would look at us and be like, "Well, you guys are kind of bad boys in the."
All right, American, we're coming after you.
Yeah,
Well, like the saying, like if you don't like what people are saying, just change the conversation.
I knew like the way they handled it was shitty when they responded to the situation by responding to someone else's tweet. Like someone tweeted them and they responded back to them.
No.
That's how they responded to the whole
Please
situation.
call this number.
Yeah, sorry for the inconvenience, but we stand by what we. Well, our rules.
Stand by that
rules
ass beat.
Our rules are regular.
We're proud of the way that man was bleeding.
Damn.
I would have said the same thing though. That dude's like, "Just kill me now, kill me now."
well.
I would have done the same thing. I would have been like, I would have started talking like,
Fuck this shit. I hate it.
You just
"Fucking the refrigerator, the lights are, the beans are burnt."
They beat me up. I can't breathe.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. All that. I think we're getting off the subject. Okay, so that's a good place to end it. Ken, Dan, thank you for stopping by. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, for sure. If you guys see them at events, don't be shy. They love hugging people. I'm kidding. Don't do that. But if you guys have questions for them, they're at almost all of the events. If you guys have questions, especially if you're a team, if you have questions, you can certainly ask them. Yeah, that's gonna do it. Any closing comments, Ken? Awesome.
No.
So no, I mean individually and collectively, you guys are awesome to work with, and it's really exciting to be involved in the space right now. You know, I look at even a couple of the guys here in the house. Like I'd love seeing just the transformation of where things have gone, literally over just the last 2 years alone.
Yep.
So it's exciting to be, representing you guys, but it's really exciting time to be in the space right now.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Bose?
well said.
No, just appreciate you guys coming on, chatting, having a good time, and yeah.
Always good to see you both.
You too.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode. Remember to not leave without leaving a like. We want to start adding a new segment where you ask us a question in the comments down below, and then we'll respond on the next podcast. This time, we are going to stick to it. So we'll see you in the next one for episode number 10 of Season 2 of the OpTic Podcast. Hitch, or whoever's editing this podcast, hit them with the music.